Hello, everybody, and welcome to a lunchtime rewind. I've got the Nick of Slots on the web with me here. Say hi, Nick.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
You missed the obvious joke of saying hi, Nick. Next time. Um, yeah. I just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you, Torontos, for following and fellow Discord person for following the channel. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, let's get into this. Let's watch a game that I played the other night. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and go like that. So this is the deck I was running, the Tragic Perfumer Domina of Langdeep. The real highlights of this is the reverse time. Reverse time and Arise. If you can get that early, you can throw all of your disc creatures into the discard and then Arise them the following turn for a pretty sweet value. Um, no, it just has a lot of really strong cards. So you've got the Arise, you've got a pretty good disc package with Shret, Eater of the Dead, Double Ember Imps, Pit Demon, Succubus, Double Succubus. Hey, Keyforge Jupiter, thanks for joining us here, sir. 5 viewers. Hello, everybody. Yes, watch along as I show my lack of play skill here. So two effervescent principles, lab work, phase shift, reverse time, and then a pretty solid logos package, and then shadows. You've got the always fun bait and switch, miasma, nerve blast, relentless whisper is kind of the best of the best shadows action cards there, and those can be really nice if you can get those set up in the discard and reverse time them back in. So I've gotten a few games where I've bait and switched 2 or 3 times in a game, and Hysteria has been another one with the Ember Imps, which is really fun to do a few times a game to somebody. Just clog their hand up. So that's what I'm running. Anything stick out to you, Nick?
I really like Necklifter. Necklifter is a very powerful card. It's a card that, one card that can completely change a game. I mean, if you steal a Lash of Broken Dreams with Necklifter, it's a big deal. So it's definitely one that I look out for. I actually really have a soft spot for Long Fused Vines, especially in your deck with your removal is fairly limited to like Hysteria and Three Fate. So long fuse mines will probably get the mileage in this deck, I would imagine.
Yep.
But I mean, honestly, you just have a really solid pool of creatures too. All of the creatures are pretty high value ones. Do something really, really great for you. Eater of the Dead is a actually like sneaky OP card where it can just remove a problem creature from the game permanently by purging it. So you're gonna have some monster rise turns with this deck for sure.
Yep. Nope, it feels pretty good. So let's get into the actual game. So before we get into the said game, we'll take a look here and look what I'm going up against. A Brobnar Logo Shadows deck, a couple of Coward's Ends, a Punch, Smith, Iron Obelisk, which is going to play a huge role in this game. Huge role in this game, along with Hebe the Huge and War Drummer. And I made some mistakes early on where I didn't realize how powerful that's going to be, so sneak preview. So then we've got Bouncing Death Quark, Fogify, a couple Lab Works, a Phase Shift, Scrambler Storm, Dexter, Dr. Escotera, Replicator, Smoko, Mechanic, and Transposition Sandals. And then, shoot, we can't see the last one, but I know the last card in his deck is Sneck Lifter out of Shadows, and he also has the Bait and Switch Ghostly Hand Speed Sigil with double Phantoms. So yeah, not a ton of artifacts for his double Phantoms, but a couple. So let's let the game roll here and get to the first turns. So looking at the list, I knew I kind of had to watch out for Burn the Stockpile, and even though I knew that, I still kind of biffed it, so unfortunate. Hey, B-Hawk, what's going on, man? Just getting into the game here. So there's my opening hand. I've been trying to kind of figure out what I want to start with. With the Arise and the Reverse Time, I kind of want to start with Dis, because I feel like the Dis package with the Amber Imps and the Hysterias and all that kind of makes a pretty strong opening, especially if I can start cycling those over and over again. So I kept that hand. What'd you think of that keep? Yes, no. Should I have thrown it back? I also kind of like the logos that I have 4 logos cards to play on turn 2.
I really like. I mean, I like that hand a lot. I like. I was thinking a very similar line of keeping going Ember Imp turn one and then playing logos out turn two. Yeah, you get a lot out. You get a solid board presence. He has to deal with Ember Imp
Yep, and he discarded one of his coward's
A
ends,
really
which was
solid
kind of
hand to
nice
keep, I
for us
think.
there. We'll get out a Brain Eater, a Mechanic, putting that on the end. That way I can potentially race myself to the first key. And I'll shoot my Titan Mechanic, as that guy is not as important, I don't think. Everybody approved that play.
Yeah, I think that was pretty clearly the way to go there. Um, I think there's some merit to hitting Doc Book instead of Titan Mechanic, but I'm not sure exactly. I don't know how important that would really be, but I just kind of like keeping the sixth guy like healthy, just so he can maybe dealt like 2/4 trades with something.
Sure. And my thought there too is I know three fates is in my deck, so a lot of times the six power creatures kind of get in my own way. And so
Yeah,
that's why I'm um, not as afraid of losing my six power guys with the three fates in here. All right, so he played a Carlo Phantom and a Speed Sigil, so everything's been super hyperdrived. I'm back to 0 amber. What do you guys think? Where should I go on this turn?
I'm feeling logos. I feel like logos, rocket boots, Doc Bookton, um, and lab
Beehawks.
work. Yeah, lab work, maybe the Nerf blast. Or you could actually probably draw with Doc Bookton and then figure out what the lab work after that.
All right, Jupiter's in on the Shadows turn. Shadows away the Carlo. Play a Carlo. Reap with Carlo. Let's see what I did. And Beehawks in on Logos. Let's go in the tank a little bit here. Kind of a weird turn. A lot of options. So I go Logos, boot up the booked in, and get the two reaps out of there. Fortunately, didn't draw a Logos creature, which would have been really nice. And that's what I was trying to do there. I was trying to draw into a Logos creature with the Speed Sigil in play. Didn't quite get there. And I threw the Effervescent Principle into the archives. Yep, I did it, Beehawk. Look at that. Put the tech card away. Save it for later.
Yeah, I really like that play. I like putting principle where you need it, and just kind of getting either you're really set up to go into dis or shadows in the next hand that way.
Yep, so bouncing Death Quark kind of clears our board. He does not. He just completely gets rid of it with his own thing. The only other card I think he really has is Iron Obelisk. And maybe one other artifact. Alright, so we're looking at an empty board here. Where do you think I should go? Yeah, I think he had three artifacts total in his deck, so I wasn't too worried about the double Carlo. But what's the play here? Which house should I be going in this turn?
I kind of like this. Um, we get our disc creatures out, building for our rise turn. We can steal one with Pit Demon. I feel like Shadows doesn't have enough to do right now. Like your Umbra has nothing to attack. Your Nerve Blast has to hit your own guys. Um, I just kind of like saving the Shadows.
Discard the fear. I like that, Jupiter. Nice one. Good play. Yeah, let's see if nope. I completely fail there. Completely and
Okay.
utterly fail there. I just thought with that play,
Hey,
it put myself in check. So I got to 6. So that was my thinking behind the Logos play, but I could definitely see the display. But it is kind of a walk, but I did put the pressure on. I forced him to have to make me lose one here. We'll see if I actually get my key in.
I see the merits of.
So now we've got our obelisk out. So now our keys cost more, so we're not getting our key anyways. So probably should have went Dis the last turn just to get through the deck a little bit more. So now we really want to get rid of the troll because he's making our keys cost more. What do you guys think? Where am I going on this turn? Where should I go
Now I
on this
like the
turn?
shadows. I like
Shadows.
shadows on this
Hey,
because you can
Mercenary, how's it
remove
going, man?
troll.
So Nick says shadows. Uh, Keyforge Jupiter says that unless he's not reaping for 6, he's probably playing cards out of hand most turns, which I can see that at play. So, yep, we're gonna go shadows, get rid of that guy.
The only scary part about this play is we're playing into bait and switch more.
It's true, but there's a
But it's not
saucy Dissian
necessarily
now.
wrong. Oh yeah, that's real good.
Now he's got to hope he plays enough big creatures that we're only losing Brain Eater to it. And he goes with the Brobnar turn. And this play makes ours cost 7 with the Obelisk. Plays a Coward's End. And he hit us with a Burns the Stockpile. I accidentally went to 8. Well, even at 7, I guess I was still getting hit by that. So yeah, he effectively stopped our key there. So, I mean, this has to be Dis, right?
Yeah, it's definitely I think that you just discard the fear and don't put one of those back in his hand. I think you three
Three.
face the entire board and then play out all the dudes.
Yep, that was kind of my thought too. I want to give him another chance to play with all those guys. So yeah, play mistake there. I forgot about Speed Citadel. I should have played the Pit Demon first and stole one. So the mistakes are adding up. Yep, totally missed it. And then I was going to keep Fear with the thought of keeping the Ember Imp safe, but yeah, with Speed Citadel, it's not going to matter. So we got our Arise. In our discard, we have another Ember Imp. So we're seeing a Dodger. One of his 2 Shadow Selves is coming out to play. And so Beehawk's already excited for the Snag Lifter into the Iron Obelisk. So any other plays we see that stick out here, what we should do this turn?
I like going this to keep him off a key. I might honestly go ahead. I'd consider go ahead and maybe going ahead and arising. You could even Pit Demon, run it into Dodger, um, or yeah, Pit Demon, run it into Dodger, and then speed Sigil it out and still get a usage off of it. That kills the
Yeah,
uh, Shadow
uh,
Self.
I
I
like
mean,
that.
it kind of works out the same,
Yeah,
but
because you're not
you
going to
feel
put any
better because you
damage
can.
on the Dodger. Yeah, I can see that play. I kind of like that play. Let's see what I ended up doing here. Pretty sure I went Dis because I think the Shrek comes back in to stop the Forge, but I did not go with the sneaky swing into. I just stole.
I think that's reasonable.
I was thinking about whether to fight or reap with that guy, because I could potentially do that fight play that you're kind of talking about. But in here, like, for some reason, I just didn't care about his Brobnar creatures. Like, I just did not care about them coming back. I wanted to limit his abilities other place. Yeah, I can see that, the Coward's End, to save that, but I've still got the reverse time. But yeah, the throwing away not Brobnar guys is gonna really come back to bite me, unfortunately. So looking at a full disboard here, we're at 8, he's at 2. He can steal one with Dodger. If he has a bait and switch, he can go 5 and 5, steal one to go 6 and 4, 7 and 4 with a reap from the Shadow Self, plus whatever else he plays, if that's what he has.
Did he use both Coward's End already?
He had one. He discarded one. He played one. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have any Coward's Ends.
Yeah.
You're right, because he discarded one like turn 2, and then he played the other one like turn 3 or 4, because he's still wearing the chains from one of them. And so get another Shadow Self. All right, what's the play? We got our key. B-Hawk says dis.
Yeah, I think definitely this. I'm tempted to Hysteria and then replay, like Reap, then Hysteria, and get a second usage off of Pit Demon.
I'm pretty sure that's what I did. That seemed really good to me too. And so here I throw away a Shadows creature just to get rid of a Shadows creature, trying to limit his other houses. Not thinking Brobnar would be the house I'd have to worry about. I underestimated Brobnar. I know with Iron Obelisk, but I was like, I'm just gonna Sneck Lifter it. Yeah, and War Drummer is gonna really make me sad. Yep, no, I definitely learned those lessons from this game, because his deck kind of evolves around a combo that we'll see in a little bit here. So put ourselves back in check, put him down to 3. Really saucy Shadow's turn. Yeah, Hebe and Einer Obelisk are not fun. So Smoko runs into our Ember Imp. Phase shifts into a punch for our Succubus. Scrambler storms us, so we can't play any actions. So what do you do? Whoop. Well, there's what I did. So B-Hawk's on the Dis train as well. Everybody else agree with Dis with Scrambler Storm out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's not much else to do with Scrambler Storm.
Yeah, I mean, I can technically play Shadows, play Snecklifter and Seeker Needle, but
Yeah,
that's a pretty low impact play compared to just using 3 creatures over again. So,
yeah. I definitely think just getting the Amber off of using the 3 creatures is the way to go.
and here I biff not getting rid of War Drummer again. I know. It was late. This was my last game of the night.
What's really weird is you're actually by like thinning his deck from like other creatures, so he draws all his Brobnar creatures
Brobner
again.
creatures, yeah, when he finally gets through the deck. Yep. All right, so now it's getting a little sticky. He's getting a lot of steal potential here with the Naughty and the Dodger, the double Shadow Cells protecting both. What are we feeling here? I mean, I think it's pretty obviously Shadows, because the bait and switch is going to be really good. B-Hawk says logos.
I think I see the Logos play. You get all your disc creatures back in the draw pile. You get a rise back. Yeah, you probably want to hold on to the bait and switch because he's going to go higher for sure. And you're in such a dominating position that I think saving the bait and switch makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
And everybody agrees. Not that good at turn 4 out of steal. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Yep. And so here's where possibly I let this game slip out of my fingers then by not doing that. Ugh, that's so frustrating. Like everybody sees it except for me at the time. I was just like, oh, this is a great turn to bait and switch, set up a whispers. Deal his obelisk. Fight the. I fought that so we wouldn't have as small of a target to fight back with Dodger. I wanted it to at least hurt a little bit more than two. So we've got his obelisk. We have a miasma now. We've got a reverse time. Those are our last cards in our deck. And it may not be a real reason, but it was the reason I had in my mind.
It's the one you used.
Yeah, unfortunately. No, so he goes to 9. So what do we think here? Obviously, I'm I clicked it pretty quick, but I
I
just
think it's Logos now. Um, Principal reverse time. It's either that or Shadow Self Miasma, but it's just you're gonna get if you wait a turn, Principal will not matter quite as much because you won't keep him off a key. Oh
yeah,
yeah, reverse time Principal is
uh,
actually really smart.
yeah, it would have been smart to do it in that order. That way, reverse time or the other, I wouldn't draw the second one again. So like the reason I wanted the Sneck Lifter not to be there, I knew the damage was going to go over to the Shadow Self, but I just didn't want Dodger to have a 2. Like the Dodger would have hit one of the 4 or 5 guys that would have put the Shadow Self to one health remaining. Was kind of my thought in doing that. And that way the Dodger just didn't have a free target hitting the Sneck Lifter and only putting 2 damage on a Shadow Self. Alright, so I did it in the opposite order, thinking Effervescent Principle was going to be important for the rest of the game, just to kind of be an insurance thing. But I can definitely see since I already had the one in archives, just not wanting to draw it again. So he throws out a mechanic, a fogify into a lab work, into a Dexter, and kills our big dude. All right, so this is what you're looking at. What's your play?
Uh, I think I'm going dis here. Man, discard. I actually see a lot of merit to that because you don't give him targets to um, hit with Dodger.
Principal from Jupiter.
I think you got to draw. I think you got to draw here. Like, just you got to start drawing something to like get you out of this.
Yeah, I was going back and forth. I think I end up in shadows because I can miasma. Um, I do not have a gateway in the deck. Gateway would be amazing in this deck. And play this because I figured that's pushing me closer towards the end and it slows him down for a turn. So now we're starting to draw back into all of our disc creatures again. That really makes this next turn kind of interesting. Replicator, Reaps with no actual targets. All right, so obviously it's Dis.
Yeah. Only one play here. The weird question is whether or not to Pandemonium. Um,
I know, and that's the thing I was so far in the tank on as I'm playing out this turn. I'm kind of saving it. Cause yeah, no, and bait and switch would have been amazing if I'd still had that at this point. Would just close the game out.
I kind of feel like you discard Pandemonium. and maybe fear. Fear unfortunately doesn't do a whole lot here.
With Speed Sigil out, yeah, Speed Sigil is such a brutal thing to play against.
It's
Yeah,
probably Speed Sigil like Shadow Self or Titan Mechanic. Just make him pay one extra.
yeah. So we go with Pit Demon, steal one. Yep. So the Pandemonium only puts it on undamaged creatures. So that's
I was
kind of
talking
nice.
more about which creature to fear.
Yeah, no, I know. And that was the next really hard decision. So here I am on the in the tank, trying to debate whether I give him one, two, three, four more amber for myself while capturing four of his amber and keeping him off yet another key. I want to capture his amber though. I don't want to Pandemonium before. I guess I don't understand that play, Keyforge. Okay, all right. So now what creature to fear? What creature should I have feared here?
I agree with B-Hawk on Dexter because it's like the most worthless one. He hates having to replay it. It's like,
Yeah, no, and it was wearing two amber. Yeah, I hope I chose that. I don't remember. I was going back and forth. Like I could see getting rid of the shadow self just so he couldn't put it back in the middle there to protect the naughty and the dodger. And I ended up on the dodger so it couldn't be next to the shadow self. So we have another Sneck Lifter, Nerve Blast, Umbra, Carlo. So dodger comes back in.
does Carlos steal one if you Sneck Lifter after?
No, it sure doesn't. You're
Oh,
not playing
that's
it. Yeah. And he found his other shadow self, so the Dodger still has the protection. And plays yet another Dodger. So B-Hawk's saying dis this turn. So we have the three fates, so we can get rid of the two shadow selves plus his Titan mechanic.
yeah.
I
I think it's got to be Dis.
I don't
I
disappoint here. I'm trying so hard to
I
close
think
this game out.
I think you even trade. I would like trade into Dexter with maybe Charette just to get that two amber.
Yeah, I could see that. Get the additional amber back. It's just the problem is with the double dodgers and the naughty. Rid of one shadow self. Yeah, that would have been probably good. That way the three fates hits one of the dodgers. So I actually chose to go after the naughty to try to limit his steals. Just trying to protect the amber that I had. So, yeah, he's got a key. He's at three. He can get to five with dodger steals. Take us back down to two. Kind of set up for a Shadow's turn next turn. If he takes care of our disboard. He's going Brobnar. He's reshuffled back into his deck, so it's pretty heavy Brobnar in his deck now. He comes down, blows up our imp. Smacks our demon. And now we get wrecked by Brobnar. Sitting at 5 amber, so close. And a Bumpsy. So now he's got a big board. What are we going here? What's the play?
I think we're going Shadows,
So
pinging Dexter with Secret, and then just playing everything else out. Yeah, Umbra's the right creature to play first.
yeah, I should really not make so many play mistakes. I was really concerned about the stealing. So I was trying to set myself up for a couple turns of getting rid of the Dodgers so he couldn't steal anymore. I wasn't super afraid of the Dexter.
I,
Maybe I
I just
should have.
want that amp,
Yeah, I really should have gotten that Amber back. Felt pretty good
and I
there. He's
like
sitting
taking
at
a breather.
7, but then he baits and switches us. So, and then he Snecklifter backs his own Iron Obelisk. And runs into our Umbra. Yeah, it gets a little rough here. But yeah, we did draw our Arise, and like all of our disc creatures are in there right now. So, what's the play?
It's his. I think it's Reap with Charette, Hysteria, Arise. I can see merit in logos, um,
So
for
Logos
sure.
can play Brain Eater with boots or Titan Mechanic with boots. Get some value. Yep. No, the Hysteria Snecklifter is what really caught my eye. Fight the War Drummer. That would have been smart. Because I would have arose the Charette anyways. Gosh dang it. Thank you, B-Hawk. Oh, it's those kinds of plays that I'm just missing right now, and it's kind of frustrating because, yeah, I feel like this deck is really good, and there's a few of these games like this where I get out to the commanding lead and I just cannot finish it out. And I was pretty sure it was pilot error, and it looks like that is the case. So at least I am confirmed in that knowledge. But yeah, like the sad thing about this is playing these Ember Imps. Like maybe I shouldn't have played the Ember Imps because they're just gonna get blown up by Hebe. But it does make him have to play Hebe in the first 2 cards. Yeah, and I didn't. I just threw it out there because I wanted to keep drawing through my deck. And there I explained the Snecklifter to get back the Iron Obelisk. But unfortunately, he gets his second key because I couldn't prevent that. And things just go poorly. Yep, so the Ember Imps are gone. Yeah, sandbagging 1 imp would have been good. That was misplay. Big misplay. So he eats our Charette, so he's back up to 3. War Drummer into Bumpsy. Yeah, I know. I wasn't going to draw, so it really holding that was not the right call. Pit Demon stunned.
The
And
more I think about it, The more I'm like, I think Logos was the play last turn, just because you could have kept him off a key.
Yeah, with
Um,
the principal and yep, it wouldn't have hurt me that bad. So yeah, so now we have to go Logos to keep him off of winning. We still can't Sneck Lifter to get the obelisk back, so we're still probably not forging a key, but I make another bad misplay here where I don't put rocket boots on my first creature I throw out, which is such an obvious play watching it back. And it pains me that I don't see it right then and there. I don't know. I don't feel like I was on tilt. I probably wasn't on tilt. I don't know. That was poor. It was very poor. I'm trying to figure out which one I throw out first here, just due to the speed sigil. And I end up just figuring I'm just going to reap anyways. And again, if I would have just put the rocket boots on this guy before I reaped with him, I could have at least gotten a bonus amber or done a brain eater into a rocket boots reap fight. And yeah, I didn't even notice it after doing it either. Like, never even crossed my mind. It was such a bad misplay.
so it's that late night fatigue setting in.
Dad dang all day. No, that was pretty brutal. My first two matches too went really well, where I pretty much closed my opponents out pretty early in the games, and so like I was like, kind of hoping to get a game where I actually had some, issues that I could do one of these rewinds on, and I more than made up for it in the third game. No, Logos' next turn is still solid, except for when your opponent does this to you. He goes to 4, goes Scrambler Storm to 5, and Fogify to 6. And we have just went from a 2 keys to nothing lead to losing the game. There is nothing we can do here.
Nope.
Just
The crazy
brutal.
the crazy part of this match is where it really all went wrong were choices that were made with Eater of Souls about what you exiled. That was like I think ultimately
Yeah, because I could have gotten rid of the War Drummer
like
a
game.
couple of times. I don't think I ever had Hebe as a target when I was getting rid of him, but definitely the War Drummer would have been the right call for sure. And I was kicking myself about that last night because I rewatched this last night just to try to figure out in my own mind where it went wrong. But yeah, that's the end. I've got no plays. Like the only thing I can hope for. Yeah, I think I just did this for the. I was gonna see if the Sneck Lifter Carlo thing worked, which it doesn't, which it shouldn't, and that still doesn't get me under enough to actually stop it. He thought for a second there that it was just damaged Brobnar creatures, but for it's it's not. It's friendly Brobnar creatures, and I have no friendly Brobnar creatures, so there you go. That's how you lose a game from a 2-0 lead.
It's that bait and switch.
Bait and switch was big that turn. Yeah, that would have been huge because he did go up to a a lot of amber a couple turns later, where I could have really stolen and probably closed it out earlier. Yeah, we drew a bait and switch, but a little late since we couldn't actually play anything that last turn. So yeah, that's my deck. There's my drastic misplays in the third game of the night. To prove that I'm not like the worst with that deck. Well, my record's pretty bad with that deck actually. It's not great, but I'm really enjoying the deck, and there's a lot of power there. But like the 2 games before, 34 turns, 3 keys to 1, and then this one, I just pretty much locked him out from the very get-go.
I can tell that's a powerful deck, but I think you're. I think you've hit. I think you've said this, but I think you're right about it. It just there's a lot of really interesting decision points with that deck, and I think it's going to require a lot of like play of just like figuring out all the edge scenarios where um, where you have to make those like really hard crunch decisions.
Yeah, and no, and I'm realizing that. I mean, my record is not awesome. 13 games with a 38% win rate. And I know a lot of these games is me just making those bad plays kind of late where I'm just not quite wrapping my head around the option, like the best option at the time. But I don't know. I feel like the deck is really powerful, and I'm gonna keep sticking with it and just jamming games. And pretty sure like my win rates, I don't know, it still looks pretty bad. A lot of these though, like I know I played against you in one of your decks that you've got a very high winning percentage, and both games were
Yeah,
super close. I think you have
yeah,
like what, like an 82% win rate at like 30, 40
yeah,
games, and I've split a pair of games with you, so the power
yeah.
is there. It's just the decision making has to line up to allow it to be powerful. But yeah, thanks everybody for stopping in and checking this out. I will probably be posting this to the YouTubes here later this afternoon. And yeah, thanks for playing along and cringing with me as I watch mistake after mistake just cost me the game. But yeah, catch you guys all later.